It's me, your girl Nat, and welcome to another episode of the GSPOT. Now, this episode is extremely special for a few reasons. So, clearly there's another being here, right, with me. And as you know, this is still, our visuals are still fresh. There haven't been many episodes where I've done like visuals, right? But one of the reasons why today's episode is so special is because I have a co-host here with me. And not just any co-host, but the co-host is the love of my life, my college sweetheart, my baby boo, J.R. Lee. Welcome.
You always is dramatic.
Yes, I'm very dramatic. Yes, very
dramatic.
Y'all know, the G-Boys know that I am very dramatic. And here on the G-Spot, it's a safe space to be unapologetic, right?
I could be myself.
You can literally be yourself.
I can wild out. You seen that video?
Wild out. Which one?
Oh man, it was like this video that I used to go. It was going viral. Like, is it say I could wild out? You used to start twerking. I don't remember that video.
No,
I'm not gonna start twerking.
Okay. I mean, if you did, I wouldn't judge you.
You should judge me if I started twerking.
It's a safe space. I know, on the G-Spot.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of weird. You know, I start twerking and stuff.
Well.
Nah, are you sure? I'm just kidding, guys.
Anyway,
a little
jokey joke. This is the first episode of many.
You sure he didn't do your hair?
He slayed it, then he did the makeup.
I do be doing hair sometimes. I know y'all seen the video of me putting the dye in her hair and cutting her hair,
my hair,
combing her hair, all that.
He did my first big chop, by the way. Like, snip. My hair was long. He really snip.
And she got mad at me. We went straight to the barber after a couple of days later.
Because I looked crazy. It was chaka. Like, if I have a picture, I want to
fade.
Yeah, he did.
I told fade, but I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, you're perfectly fine. So, this is one of the first episodes of many where I will have a co-host for the episode, right? And so
you're the first.
You're the first. You know the first had to be the best.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying? Like, my last.
I guess I'm always the first.
The first, yes. Pause. Not pause, but yeah. So,
okay, it's a show. You got a show going on.
So. No, it's perfectly. But here, the thing about it, the G-Spot, what I love is the space that we're creating is very informal. It's just a conversation. And that's really the tone that I want to set, going forward with other co-hosts that come on, is where we just kind of pick a topic and we just let it go. It's just a conversation. It's kind of...
You never done this before?
I've never done this before.
You know when the girls say, I've never done this my first time, but she's like a professional,
right?
First
time, though. It really be my first time.
That's what they all say. But you're doing really well. I'm really impressed.
Thanks, babe. I'm really excited about today's episode though, because other co-hosts that I have lined up are women. My audience is predominantly women. However, the thing about JR here, okay, is that the women love him. They love his sensitive nature, his charismatic ways, the little razzle-dazzle that the energy they just flock to. Isn't that right?
She saucing me up, guys. She saucing me up.
I'm not saucing up. I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying? Where I just feel like...
I'm just a poet, guys. Just keep my head down low and I just chill.
A wordsmith. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really excited.
I'm a simple guy.
I'm a simple guy. I'm really excited for this episode, though, because I want to get like a man's take on what a common theme of the G-Spot is, right? So, like I said, the G-Spot, I started the podcast because I wanted to create a safe space for women to be unapologetically themselves, for us to talk about topics that, that we might not be comfortable talking with our family or our friends, or, saying things that we normally wouldn't say. Just being ourselves and being ourselves loud, taking up space. So creating a safe space, that is that. And creating a community around people who yearn for that and who want to be open to doing that, right? So I feel like it's going to be really dope to have a male's perspective on our common theme of self-love, about self-love journey and things like that. So I feel like before we get started, we should give a little background on who you are.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then we can kind of get into the fun stuff.
Cool.
So, JR, who is JR? Like, who is you?
I gotta talk about myself?
Yeah. That's one of I feel like, would you say that, first of all, would you say that that's one of the things that people have difficulty with is talking about themselves?
Yeah, I don't got difficulty talking. I can talk about myself.
I know.
No, I do think that people have, difficulties talking about themselves, and that probably stems from a lot of different things. Not everybody, some people, it's easy for them to talk about themselves, but for me, I interview a lot of people, so I let people talk about themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, but who is JR? JR, or most people, if you do know me personally, my name is Javier Ray Lee.
Rasta.
Or Rasta, because I used to have dreads back in the day. Sheldon, if you know me from
Hobby. These are the different seasons, by the way. Go ahead.
I got a lot of different seasons, but my name is Javier Lee, and I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a writer, I'm a poet, I'm an author, I'm the host of the greatest show in the world, the Fly on the Wall show, where I talk to some of the greatest business minds or creative minds the world has ever seen, up and coming artists and creators as well. People that I know are going to be legends in the future, and I had them first on the show.
Yep.
But other than that, I'm a brother. I'm a friend. I'm a husband. A boyfriend, whatever you want to call it. I'm a poet, man. I feel like I'm misunderstood. I have so many sides of me that the world doesn't really get to see often.
Yeah.
And as I grow, as I, develop myself and grow as an individual and get more comfortable in myself and comfortable showcasing certain parts of me, the world is like seeing different parts unveil. Like a beautiful butterfly, metamorphosis of J.R. Lee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's me as a nutshell. I like to think and I like to create. I like to do a lot of different things. I love music. I love fashion. I love words. I love stories. I love movies. I love food. You know what I'm saying? I just like to express myself in all those different ways.
So let me ask you, do you feel like I know you said you feel like you're misunderstood. Is that something that you've always felt?
Yeah. I think I've always been misunderstood, since forever. I can look back and say, yeah, absolutely. Growing up, I grew up to 2 immigrant parents. Shout out to my parents, the Lees. The Lees, Tracy side, at the Lee side. Shout out to them. They're 2 immigrant parents that came here. I guess to make a better life for themselves in the future. And then I popped up. Then my sister popped up. But my parents. I want to say they had dreams. I know my dad had dreams. I hear a little bit about my mom, but whatever it is, some of that stuff got put on the back burner when the family gets involved.
Yeah.
And I feel like because they were always working, and they didn't really understand themselves. They didn't really pursue their own dreams. That's kind of hard. I'm a very expressive, creative person, creative being. I like attention. I love it. I crave it. That's probably because I didn't get a lot of the attention that I desired at a young age. And as I reflect and I look back, I think that stems to where I say I'm misunderstood. Is oftentimes I share these certain details with my family today.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say they don't care, but it's like they don't really get it. Sometimes there's a disconnect with my family emotionally, and sometimes me with other people as well emotionally. And so I put it all out into like my art, whatever I create. I like to tell stories. I like to daydream. I like to, scribble. You know what I'm saying? I like to express myself in so many different ways. And, I say I'm misunderstood because, sorry. I say I'm misunderstood because, like, I always had to wear, like, a mask, growing up. I feel like a lot of people out there can relate to that, wearing a mask, not really showcasing. I was a different person at home. I was a different person at school. I was a different person at church. I was a different person in my mind. In my mind, I was the coolest person ever. You know what I'm saying? I was that fly person. I grew up a chubby kid. So in my mind, I was the best dressed, best looking. I wore the best clothes. I was in the good size. I used to fantasize who I wanted to be. Not knowing that I can create that reality. I learned these things now. I can be the best version of myself. I can create this person that I always envisioned, but I didn't know that as a kid. In my mind, I just used to daydream and just, put on these different sides, and I show the world what I wanted them to see or what I thought they wanted to see of me.
So I feel like there's a lot there. I feel like when we're kids, we don't know. Like, we're like,
and I wish I was a kid again, so I could finally live again. I'm sorry, that's part of my poem. That's one of my favorite poems. For Metamorphosis of Me, Kid Again.
Hello, gotta cop that. What's the
imjrlee.com, www.imjrlee.com.
Facts. No,
I'm sorry.
No, it's one of the greatest books ever.
For sure.
And I feel like you really poured your heart out in that book. And I feel like, you know, where you said, you felt misunderstood, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And so you chose these creative outlets to, you know, communicate with the world, to kind of get, to tell you, like, to tell your emotions. Yeah. So you were kind of living these double lives. You were one way at home, you were one way at school, you were one way in your mind. Yeah. How do you think that impacted you, like, emotionally, and, like, how that impacted you with relationships and how you showed up in those relationships?
Well, emotionally, I say that I'm not gonna say I was unstable, but I did have anger issues. I did get mad really easily. You know, I did keep to myself. I didn't really cry like that. I can't. My household, we don't really cry. You know what I'm saying? Or nobody sees when you cry, at least. You know what I'm saying? So if I did cry, nobody really saw. It wasn't like I can cry and be like, "Hey, are you okay?" If I did cry, you know, Jimmy, hush, 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 hush. You know, that's what they say. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I'm not gonna say crying was seen as weak. You just ain't seen nobody cry. It wasn't like we didn't talk about feelings. We didn't talk about how was your day. We didn't talk about why are you sad. We didn't talk about, like, you know, certain things that I feel like families should talk about. You know, it felt like my voice wasn't heard. You know, and I don't know. I just don't feel like I got the attention and love that I required at that age. You know, I looked it up. You know, my words are, you know, my love language. It's good to understand your love language. You know, to help people with relationships, whether they're intimate with your significant other, or, you know, your friends or your family or your peers or whatever. I learned that, you know, it's like words of affirmations. You know, physical touch. You know, all those different things. I didn't really get like that as a child, and so that affects you when you grow up. You start, you know, looking for validation in other people. You start, you know, hanging with people because maybe they, you know, they showed you some type of attention. That could be dangerous. That could be dangerous for both men and women. You know what I'm saying? That's why people get involved with the wrong crowds. They be having the wrong group of friends, and they, you know, bad relationships because of the fact that maybe they didn't get the attention that they should have got, or, you know, or when you're young, you don't know about self-love when you're young unless you taught that. You know what I'm saying? If you taught that by, you know, one, seeing your family or your whatever your environment is, and if they showing self-love to themselves, or if they showing you what self-love look like, you know what I'm saying? So you're able to mimic that for yourself. I ain't see that at all, you know what I'm saying? So when it came to relationships and stuff like that, whether it was friend groups or, you know, I probably try to overcompensate, you know, putting myself on the back burner, you know what I'm saying, trying to make everything happen for other people, you know, being used, being played, as far as, not in like women and stuff like. Well, I mean, I probably could say that sometimes too with like early relationships, you know, early on, like, you know what I'm saying, like, not really. I could definitely, I'm not gonna say I got played, but I definitely, you know, I wanted to be like a lover boy or something like that. So maybe my feelings got, you know, like strung along sometimes, and I didn't really realize that until I got older.
What would you say a lover boy is?
You know, always trying to make you smile, you know, trying to, you know, give you those sweet words.
Like a simp.
I could probably say like a simp in a sense, but I'm not gonna say. The thing about it is, like, respectfully, shout out to all the Drakes out there, I'm not gonna say I was a simp though. However, because of the people that I was around, so I wasn't a simp, but I did simp like things. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want you to play with me. Like, I definitely would like turn up, but I did like simp like things. I can definitely say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I wasn't all the way simp. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was probably like rapping Drake and not singing Drake. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Trying to overcompensate.
Okay. So let me ask you, like, you know how you was like emotionally, like, your, like, okay.
I was always that shoulder you could cry on type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like friend zone? Or
well, I'm not gonna say I was friend zone, but it's times where I was friend zone. I would definitely say that. I'm not gonna cap. You know what I'm saying? I was always that great listener. I was always that, you know,
gentle touch.
Absolutely. Like, I could say I got friend zone a few times. Okay. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. I won't, cause one, too, I didn't want to come off too aggressive.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to come off too aggressive, although when I did, I saw the results from it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like in certain times, like I seen, like when I talk my stuff, people like that. When I talk my shit, people like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then it was just like, cause I had a complex. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I was trying to find that perfect medium, that balance, and it's like it's shit that still rolls over to today. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess even back then I was trying to balance like that ego, and I was worried about what people thought. Cause check this out, like I always knew what to say. I was pretty good at what I did, but
I was pretty good at what I did.
I guess I was still worried about people's opinions. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, do they like me for me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what they think I'm to this, to that.
Validation.
Validation. And so when there were certain things I wanted to do and certain things I wanted to say, and I probably chose just to do the gray area, so I didn't let myself down. I didn't get embarrassed. Okay, there was times where I was, you know what I'm saying? Man, girl, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess it was just like one of the things I did, I tried to play the gray area. I didn't want to get my feelings hurt.
Yeah.
I was gonna take it. I didn't want to take it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take it all the way there, so I didn't allow you to hurt me. Like, oh, like I can get you in this way, but I'm not gonna put too much pressure because you ain't gonna embarrass me. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. I was like, it's a coping mechanism. It's like self-defense in a way. Like I knew I could and I wanted to, but I'd rather not do it too much unless they made it known, like, oh yeah, it's okay. And I'm like, okay, then I'm in there. It's a whole different game now.
Isn't it so crazy how the things that happen to us? Isn't it crazy how the things...
I'm not answering certain questions, even if I'm letting y'all know right now, because she's going to try to let the camera be on, and she's going to try to trap me, so I got to ask a question that I don't ask in general. So if you guys see me say I plead the fifth, just know it's not because, like, it's just because, like, she know the vibes, you know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, though, isn't it crazy how, like, the things that happen to us, like, when we're kids, they impact us so much, like, throughout our lives?
You say, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
No, it makes so much sense, though. Because we all big kids, you know what I'm saying? We all big kids, and sometimes we don't grow up for real, you know? Because we all, unless you go to therapy and stuff like that, I definitely recommend therapy for you guys, you know, and finding some type of healing, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah.
But we all, you know, have or do currently suffer from, you know, trauma that started when we were kids that may not have been addressed. And if something doesn't go addressed, and all you do is grow up, you still that same person that still went through those same situations and experiences. You still got all that shit. It's just buried feelings and buried emotions that never got addressed. And then when you put it in a situation that stimulates that same something that you may have like
triggers that same
feeling. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you wondering like why you feel like this is because that shit has been there.
Yeah.
It's been in you, bro, and or sis or whatever you identify as, and you never really addressed it. And so now it's showing up in the different areas of your life. Now it's showing up in relationships that you're currently in. You're wondering like, damn, is it me? Is it them? It's probably you, and it might be them too from whatever they going through. You know what I'm saying? And so
So are there any major things that you feel like happened in your childhood? I know we like talk about some of them, but what do you feel like are some major things that happened in your childhood that shows up in like your relationships every day? And that could be, you know, our relationship. That could be relationships with friends, associates, colleagues. Relationship with yourself. Like, what do you feel like there are like what things do you feel like there were seeds that were planted when you were a kid that you kind of have awareness of that you feel like show up?
Well, I can say like maybe that's a good question.
Thanks.
You did. I know you be listening. But for me, I would say, you know, maybe not really always, like I said, like seeking validation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Not trying to hurt people's feelings, not trying to where maybe I should have hurt their feelings, you know what I'm saying? Like making people talk down to me sometimes. Like it's people out there it's like, yo, when it comes to like who you are as a person, people will see you before you see yourself sometimes. People see you because you in your body, so you're biased to yourself. You're biased to how great you really are. Yeah. And so it's people that probably like first of all, I know I'm the best, I'm the greatest, you know what I'm saying, respectfully. I build myself up now. Yeah, but back then I wasn't telling myself these things, and nobody around me was telling me how great I was, how amazing I was, how talented I was, how smart I was, whatever it was. Like all the good things I know to be true today, I didn't know these things to be true. And if people around you are not telling you these things, like, you know, but you telling them these things about themselves, it's like you feeling somebody else they cup and they bucket, and yours is not being filled up at the same time. Yours is not even yours. It's you just being drained, and I used to be drained a lot. Pause. You know what I'm saying? By the people. You know, pause. You know what I'm say? Pause. By the people around me and stuff like that, and people love that. People love when they chill it and you hype them up and you make them feel good. But people are innately selfish sometimes.
And so deflated.
And so I didn't really get that. And so I noticed that in a lot of my relationships, whether it was people, family, or friends, or whatever, I was always, good job, man. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really get that. And so I was always the person in the background in certain things. You know what I'm saying? I was always smart. I was always good at certain things, but I remained in the background, or people taking credit for the things that I did or said or thought of or I was responsible for, because
I can say that I've done that a few times.
Definitely.
I'm sorry about that, saying that in front of the world.
I received that and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I love you for that. Thank you.
Love you too.
But yeah, man. And so that showed up in a lot of different things. And the thing is, I would allow it. I would accept it, because I wanted to be around people. You know what I'm saying? I wanted friendship. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. Sometimes we put ourselves in uncompromisable situations because we want to be around people. We don't want to be by ourselves, or we're probably too tired of being by ourselves. And so a little bit of something is better than a lot of nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what I appreciate that. And I think that's what, you know, I succumbed myself to for a long time. Like I put myself in some terrible environments that didn't really give me what I needed. You know, that I needed, but I was given. You know, we as people, sometimes we overextend ourselves, and hoping that, you know, people would say, okay, well, they're overextending themselves. They're giving, maybe I should do the same for them. Or, you know, they had a big heart. I'm gonna have a bigger heart in return, but not, it don't really be like that. We, you know, as people, they feed off of that. Oh, you have a big heart, you give, so I'm gonna take. And I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna take. You know what I'm saying? And, you know.
That's you know, as you were just like going through that thought process, what came to me a lot is how that validation that we're talking about, and how we're seeking the validation, the approval from others, the self-love, the love from others, but yet we don't give to ourselves. Exactly. Which brings us to the fact of your self-love and self-love journey and what that looks like. So in terms of like okay, well, first I should maybe say, do you feel like you're on a self-love journey? Like, do you feel like you are like you're intentional with it?
Well, that's a good question. And I'm on a journey of just personal development in general. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Personal development, you know, that's my mindset, that's my spirituality, that's everything to do with myself, my being, who is Javier, who is JR, whatever I call myself at the moment. And so upon doing so, I'm asking myself these questions like, yo, what makes me happy? What makes me sad? What makes me excited? What makes me angry? Like, what do I like about myself? What do I dislike about myself? What do I love about myself? And the things I dislike about myself, why do I dislike these things? How can I improve upon these things? And so, but these are the questions that you have to ask yourself every day. And upon doing so, you understand what love really feels like, because you're not going to be able to love yourself unless you be able to be alone with yourself and reflect upon who you are as a person. As you're able to do these things, that love for yourself develops, because you start like, damn, once you identify who you are, what it is that you like and stuff like that, you start really understanding yourself more. And upon that, you really start to fall in love with yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to date yourself. You got to court yourself. But how can you, like, for example, you dating somebody, how you going to really date somebody or really develop a bond with that person if you don't know their interests. You don't know what they like. You don't know what they dislike. You don't know what makes them upset.
That's true.
You don't know what triggers them.
That's true.
Like, you got to really date yourself. But in order to date yourself, you got to really like interview yourself to really understand self, because, you know, at the end of the day, no one knows you better than you. Nobody has experienced a different experience. You can't lie to yourself as much as you want to. You can lie to yourself you can lie to yourself as much as you want. And people try to lie to themselves, but in the back of your mind, you be like, nah, that's not how it really you know what I'm saying? You know all the things that, and sometimes we black things out, and our body will tell us. Like sometimes
our body remembers.
Your body remembers. So no matter how much you want to lie to yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really gotta like go through the different phases of a relationship with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know how people go through that honeymoon phase where everything is sweet and stuff like that, and everything is sugar-coated, and you wearing masks, and people don't really see the real you. Well, you gotta break that stuff with yourself, bro, because ain't no honeymoon phase. You know what I'm saying? Like, with yourself. With yourself. Like, you gotta keep it real with yourself, because you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
you said that, you know, you said that you kind of dated yourself, you courted yourself, and it like, can you like paint a picture of what that looked like in your own words? Like, it doesn't have to, of course, be perfect, but just what your experience was, because I know you were like, you asked yourself, you know, what do you like, what do you dislike,
right,
you know,
so
this, you know.
For example, like, well, one. It's a little bit deeper than that for me, because like I said, I started really, you know, diving into self-development, spirituality. So I started reading more books. You know, I started, you know, learning just a lot of different things that let me look within myself. You know, I started just talking to myself nice. You know what I'm saying? We're in our head so much.
Talk to yourself nice.
You gotta talk to yourself nice. Yeah, positive self-talk. Positive self-talk. Talk to yourself nice. If you want to see what I'm talking about, www.imjrlee.com, www.imjrlee.com. Everything is IMJRlee. And that's another thing. I am, you know, words, powerful affirmations. And so, you know, speaking about that, some of the things that I used to do is I used to just write down, you know, just words of affirmations to myself. Like, I say them out loud. I am beautiful. Yes, I'm beautiful. I'm a man. I'm still beautiful. You know, I am smart. I am the best. I am the greatest. You know, I am. Whatever you put after I am, automatically you become that, because your mind starts to resonate with what you are. You know, oftentimes we say, I'm stupid, or I'm dumb, I'm ugly, and you start to believe those things about yourself. So you gotta really start changing the way that you talk to yourself. When you change the way that you talk to yourself, you change the way that you see yourself. When you change the way that you see, when you change the way you see yourself, it changes the way other people see you. So it starts with you. And so I started changing the way I talked to myself, which in return changed the way I viewed myself. I didn't view myself as this person that wasn't attractive. I didn't view myself as this person that wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? I automatically started believing everything that I told myself, but I took practice. I took repetition. Repetition is important. Repetition is the key to doing anything successfully, right? You got to do things more than once. So you got to ask yourself questions over and over again. Give yourself answers that, you know, over and over again. You know, and so like that's what I started off. I started talking to myself nice. Okay. You know, asking myself like, you know, what do I like? Okay, I like to be heard. I like to be seen. You know, I like when people listen to what I'm saying. I like having conversations. So real quick, when you say that you was asking yourself these questions, were you just like alone in the room and you're asking yourself these questions? Were you writing them down? Were you like... It's a combination of both. Okay. I talk to myself. That's okay. I talk to myself. You gotta talk to yourself, but talk to yourself nicely. You know what I'm saying? I talk to myself that, but I do write. I'm a writer, so I do write things down. Okay. You know, oftentimes, I mean, I used to journal like in books and stuff like that, but because I always got my phone in my hand, I open up my notes app. It's really quick, really simple. I always got it, and I write it out. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta do icebreakers with yourself. It's really like you gotta date yourself, of course yourself. Like it's a relationship. It's like you and yourself is a like writing love letters to yourself. Not write love letters to yourself. That's a great way to put it. You know. You're in a permanent relationship with yourself forever. It's you and self forever. You came into this world by yourself, and you're probably gonna leave by yourself. You can't die. You know what I'm saying? With somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when you bury someone, you by yourself. Yeah. Or whatever. You know, that's weird like that. But so like you in a forever relationship with yourself, so you gotta act like it. You know what I'm saying? Like we get into arguments. You know, we butt heads, and it's not pleasant. You know what I'm saying? So imagine doing that with yourself in your head, and you can't,
24/7.
and you can't escape.
That sounds like a domestic abuse.
That's exactly what it is. And who you can't call the police. You can only call yourself. So you got to deal with it.
Mental hospital if you call the police on yourself.
So now you got to deal with yourself the same way you could talk to yourself in a bad way.
Yeah.
You got to counter that with some good stuff and ask yourself, yo, why are you saying these things? And a lot of times your thoughts are not your own thoughts. Your thoughts are the thoughts of somebody else. Your thoughts are the sum of the people around you, the information and the content that you listen to, the music you listen to. You know what I'm saying? Your experiences, your traumas. Your thoughts are not always your own. So now you have to really develop what are your real thoughts? Like, what do you really truly think about yourself if it was just you and self?
So putting your thoughts on the paper or your phone allows you to take an objective view of it because you can read it back from other than just thinking about it.
Absolutely.
So kind of like a form of therapy.
Sometimes it is a form of therapy.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm not a licensed therapist, but I'm pretty sure, I haven't been to therapy, but I'm pretty sure if I go there, I'm like, well, you did a lot of good work. Yes, I'm learning to heal myself because you can heal yourself. But, I'm pretty sure those are activities they probably tell you to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
I love that. Okay, so we're talking about dating yourself, right? So at first you said you
I never put it like that before. That's pretty dope.
You got it.
That's good content. That's good stuff.
So you're dating yourself. So first you are sending love letters to yourself, right? Or like you're talking nice to. So first you're approaching yourself.
Like think about when you approach when a guy approach a girl. When somebody approaches whoever they have interest in,
you give compliments.
They give compliments. They gonna tell you some sweet stuff.
Sweet nothings.
Well, when you're dealing with yourself, it's not sweet nothings. You know what
I'm saying? Of course, I'm just saying.
But that's what it is. You're saying sweet stuff. You're showing the good parts of you.
Yeah, so you get the time of day.
So you get the time of day. You got to give yourself the time of day. You know what I'm saying? And
because you go throughout the day, you don't talk to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. You're getting everybody else's time of day. You talked about earlier. You're pouring into everybody else's cup, but you're not pouring into your own.
So now you gotta pour into your own cup, man.
Okay, so
pour some wine into that thing.
Y'all know we love some wine or some bougie water.
I don't drink.
We love bougie water here on the GSPOT. We love our wine glass and our crushed ice and our water and our lemon.
You put like a little leaf in it.
Yeah, like mint.
Mint.
Absolutely. Good leaf, like a little weed from outside. So we're approaching ourselves, right? We're approaching ourselves. We're giving ourselves compliments. We're talking nice to ourselves. We're giving ourselves the time of day. Yeah. Then after we give ourselves the time of day, we are sending ourselves love letters, which is journaling, and it's also a form of therapy. You know what I'm saying?
That's a great way to put it.
Absolutely.
It's not. That's why we the mastermind.
It's you. You know what I'm saying? And so after you're writing these love letters to yourself, what's the next step that it was courting yourself? You know what I'm saying? So you were talking nice to yourself. You were approaching yourself, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then you were writing these love letters, which was also forms of affirmation and talking nice to yourself. After that, what do you think, helped? Or what do you think is something that you did?
I started to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, when somebody's talking sweet to you, eventually you start to believe it. Like, oh man, maybe this is my person. Maybe I'm gonna give this person the time of day. So I started to give myself the time of day. I started paying attention to the things I was telling myself because I didn't hear these words before. Yeah. I'm finally hearing it. I'm like, dang, that is true. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am a loyal person. I do deserve the nicest things. I do want to be a million. I do want these things. So I started to believe these things. And as I started to believe these things, I became these things. I started to do those things. I started to become more confident. I started to, be different. You know what I'm saying? I started to really, I didn't take the same shit that I used to take. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You gave yourself new standards.
I gave myself new standards when it came to just my environment and the people that I kept around me. Those same people who used to dim my light, they're no longer here. I'm bright. I can see clearly. No more darkness.
I know we talked about that in the last episode.
You know what I'm saying? I started to see clearly. I started to be like, oh, this is what you were doing this whole time. Oh man, we can't. No, people. We outgrow people. People cut themselves off. As you raise these things, help raise your vibration. You know what I'm saying? As you begin to elevate, people can't stay in that same space as you. They can't breathe. Either they're gonna have to elevate too, or they're gonna gasp for air and disappear. Go down there. You know what I'm saying? So certain relationships died down because I couldn't. My standards and friendships and relationships and what I expected from the people around me, it changed. No longer would you be around me if you put me down. No longer would you be around me if it was just negative. It was just things that I know things that did not serve me or serve my future or the person that I was creating.
I love that. Would you say that's kind of like a level of like isolation in a sense of like, you know, when you get into a relationship and let's say it's like the honeymoon stage and it's just y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. That's
so
a great way to put
the standards and stuff.
She has her first time, bro. Either she really good at this or she be paying attention to the boy.
I be paying attention.
I think she be paying attention to the boy. Nah, she really gotta give herself credit. She's really good at these things, man. Like, she's really good. You're really good at this stuff.
Thank you.
This is what you be doing over here in the G-spot when you over here. You good. Yeah. I don't want to interview nobody.
But it's not an interview. It's just a conversation.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what I mean.
My amazing co-host for this episode.
That's what we do all day anyway, so it's just like,
so
I better be first.
Yes, baby.
Sorry, see, that's a little aggressive, right? I gotta balance it out.
But it's who you are.
It is.
I feel like
stop playing with y'all. This is me, man.
Hello, and you're being unapologetic, and that's how we are on the G-spot. We unapologetic. But I don't want to miss the point. I don't want to miss the point of the isolation part, like you know, in that honeymoon stage. So you were setting your standards, and you kind of isolated to elevate.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying, and to learn yourself more. And then I feel like if I could just give my 2 cents a little bit, I feel like you took yourself on dates in the sense of you started doing the things that matter to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You wanted to write a book. So you shifted your focus and you wrote the book. You know what I'm saying?
www.imgrd.com is there.
Exactly. You wanted to create the Fly on the Wall show.
The greatest show in the world is there.
Exactly. To help people to think and create freely using their God-given gifts and to, you know what I'm saying, go out here.
Check her out.
Because Fufa.network sponsors every G-Spot episode. Y'all already know.
Damn.
So you
I love it.
You do these things, you know what I'm saying? You started to do the things that you cared about. So you took yourself from the back burner and you put yourself to the front. And no matter what that meant, no matter who had to be left behind, no matter what had to be left behind, no matter what level ups and changes and how uncomfortable those season shifts were, you knew that you had to do that.
Ooh, damn, you preaching. That's exactly what I did.
Hello. So you know you had to do that, right? You had to take yourself.
Check her out. She's a perfect. I don't really do this. It's my first time doing this. I don't know. I hope I don't mess up.
I'm just saying.
Can I have a notebook? Let me write these things. No, you're a natural. This is one of your gifts as well. You are a great communicator. This is how I talk to myself. This is why I be talking to her the way I do. And sometimes it be rough and she be mad at me. But it's like, it get the job done. You feel me? Like, I'm about results. I'm about execution. And sometimes I do preach talking nice to yourself. But sometimes you have to talk to yourself nicely in a strong, nice manner.
Nicely in a strong...
Get your ass up respectfully and go do what you gotta do.
But it be working though.
It gets results.
It gets results.
The results.
Facts. And you were getting the results because you were getting the results in these things that you shifted your focus. And when you shifted your focus and you shifted your focus internally on you, no matter if there's things that you like to do for fun, for your career path, for your dreams and aspirations, you started to get results. Flying the Wall show, you had over 90 guests, 90 episodes, you know what I'm saying, with high level, high performance people that are up and coming, people that are like, you know, following their dreams. You wrote your book and you sold mad copies. You know what I'm saying? You came out with your merch and you sold mad pieces. You know what I'm saying? You continuously you dropped other books after that that have been helping to give people the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? And have been giving the people the blueprint to networking on how you did these things. You know what I'm saying? So you were getting the results because you we call it some books as well, absolutely. You turned things internally. And so
I always start from within.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like if you want to be successful in anything that you do, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, whether it's your life in general, you gotta look within. You gotta start within. You can't move other people unless you're able to move yourself. If you want to be a great leader, you gotta be able to lead yourself as well as follow. But nobody's gonna follow you if you have no sense of direction. And you can't have no sense of direction unless you look within. Like we all have an internal compass. Our intuition. If you're not able to follow that intuition and that stuff that when you're connected to source, that, you know, we divine, you know what I'm saying? We all connected to something that's bigger than ourselves. You gotta trust yourself. You can't trust yourself, can't nobody else trust you.
Yeah.
Can't nobody, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna show up in all the different areas of your life. You're gonna doubt everything.
Yeah.
And people are gonna return doubt you. That's one of the things. I used to doubt myself a lot. And because I doubted myself, it was hard for me to convince people of certain things and decisions and actions to take, just simply because I second guessed things. Even if it was the right thing to do, even if it was I'll be right a lot. You know what I'm saying? And because I doubted it sometimes, or I'll be right a lot, she know it. She get mad at me afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, she be right too after she listen to me. But see, I won't get too much.
You good, bro.
That's
You
who I am.
unapologetic.
No, but for real though, like, you know, you gotta really trust yourself, and that's something that I tell her a lot because you know, she doubts herself a lot, and I be like, bro, like, do you not know who you are? Like, I can't tell you who you gotta know. I be trying to tell her who she is, you know what I'm saying? But I might get it messed up sometimes. Like, I'll be like, no, I'm okay. Well, you know who you are, girl, woman, queen. I said the N word. Sorry. And I got scolded the other day. I had put like the N word on my page, and somebody hit me up. Somebody, you know, one of my dogs, and was like, "Hey, you're a very articulate brother. You don't need to be saying those words." I feel like it's like, I'm like,
you tell me right.
And I was like, I get it, bro. You know what I'm saying? It might stop me from getting, you know, certain. Shout out to that person for being a brother and hitting me up, because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I understand, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be me still. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be me still, and I'm gonna get everything because that's who I am. I'm gonna attract these things. But however, I do know the setting, I do know places, and I do know how to. My page, you know what I'm saying? My page. I put the little bleep thing in there.
Yeah.
But I do understand the concern, and I appreciate it because that was real. At the end of the day, that was real. And if you're gonna have people in your friends and your circle and stuff like that, they gotta be able to check you, and you gotta be able to understand where they're coming from, even if you disagree.
Yeah.
But I definitely saw where the individual was coming from. So shout out to that person for checking me.
Shout out.
And I said that, you know, thank you. Absolutely. I said, thank you for checking me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But where was I going with this? I almost called you the N-word.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like, she be doubting herself sometimes. But, you know, we as people, that we got to start doubting ourselves. And that's the ultimate form of self-love. Not doubting yourself. Listening to yourself. That's another thing about relationships. You got to be able to listen to your partner. So you got to be able to listen to yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's no relation that's going to be strong without trust. So how can you have a good relationship with yourself if you don't trust yourself? You doubt yourself. You don't listen to yourself. That's important. That's one of the most important things.
Last episode, you should trust yourself more.
Boom, there you go. I got a hoodie. You should trust yourself.
And
check
it
it out.
was inspired by that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was inspired by that.
www.iojid.com.
Facts. And, you know, so...
I can promote your whole episode. I'm sorry.
No, you're perfectly fine.
I just put a banner. There's a whole across the screen.
I plan to.
I'm going to say that be a whole episode.
I plan to. Don't worry. So,
I don't mind. I'm not used to being on camera, guys.
Yes, you are. Okay. So we talked about these different seasons and different things that you did to date yourself to get to where you are now. Where would you say that you are in your self journey now? Self-love journey now.
Where I'm at right now? I love the hell out of myself. I love myself. I tell myself every single day that you're the best, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're the best, you're beautiful, you're amazing. And I do love myself. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm still working on certain aspects of myself that will help me love myself even more. And what that look like, what does that mean? Like my image, you know what I'm saying? Learning to take care of my skin, learning to move my body and consistently, you know, eat the proper things I need to eat, to work out the way I need to work out, to do my cardio, to do my meditation. I'm still learning to get in these grooves and to do these things and continue that discipline, because that will increase my love for myself more. You know, I'm gonna love myself even more. Like, you know, when I look better, when you look good, you feel good. You know what I'm saying? And so you gotta remember, you gotta remind yourself, like, so what does that look like? Okay, let me go get my well-groomed experience on. Let me get my hair done. You know what I'm saying? Let me go work out. Let me continue to lose weight so the clothes could fit me even more. You know what I'm saying? So I can feel confident, so I can, you know, show up for myself, and in return, that allows me to show up for my partner. You know what I'm saying? It allows me to show up in the world a whole different way. You know, and so that's where I'm at right now.
And I love that. And I love that for you, honestly, because we all deserve to elevate our level of self-love. And it's a journey, and it happens over time. But do you feel like, no, you're fine. Do you feel like it's a norm or looked at as a positive? I guess I can verbalize it as, do you think it's a norm for men to view themselves as having self-love journeys? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
do I think it's a norm?
Like, yeah, do you think that men normally give themselves the space to kind of, you know?
No, I don't.
Or like people encourage.
Well, at least I feel like men are not encouraged to even look at themselves as an emotional being. Well, it might be more encouraged in certain circles and depending on who you speak to. But, you know, especially in the African American community, the Black community in general, the Caribbean community that I identify with, it's not something that is common. You know what I'm saying? Men, we don't talk about our feelings. We don't understand why it's important to cry, why it's important to talk about your feelings, why it's important to have empathy, why it's important to speak about your feelings with other men. You know what I'm saying? You know, just, you know, let your guard down, to have the understand the importance of feminine energy. Like, that's not something that is really spoken about. So when it comes to self-love or mental health, you know what I'm saying, which are the things that are important for any type of love, you know, and so which is important for any type of love in general. So I don't really think that is really, you know, spoken about, but I do wish to change that or be one of the people that help to change that.
Okay. If there was something that you could say to the little boy in you, the Sheldon, you know what I'm saying, that is healing as you go on this self-love journey, what like advice would you give him?
Well, before I give him any advice, you know, I would start off with what I tell to myself now, like, yo, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're smart, you're gifted, your voice matters, I hear you, I see you, you are so important. You know, the world needs you, the world needs what you have so much love to give, never stop loving, always still be a giver, but talk your shit, be confident, believe in yourself, stand up straight, stand up firm, go work your ass out, you know what I'm saying, like, continue to do the things that make you feel good, smile more, you know what I'm saying, keep that same love and energy, you know what I'm saying, and never change, you know, talk to your dad more, talk to your dad more, your dad can really help you grow, that relationship that y'all have, or don't have, you know what I'm saying, he probably never had a good relationship with his father, the relationship that you want with your dad, he probably never had that, so he can't help you. But if you learn to help one another, y'all can both help each other heal. Yeah. So, you know, build that bond and relation with your dad. You know what I'm saying? Listen to your dad. Talk to your dad. Let your dad know that you are here. You know what I'm saying? Let your dad know that you're here. Talk to Chanel more. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Chanel, his sister.
My sister. Let her know that she matters. Let her know that you love her. Let her know that you're not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And continue to push your mother. Let your mom know that you see her. Let your mother know that you love her too. You know what I'm saying? Let your mother know that her voice matters and she's heard and she's seen and she's loved. Let everybody around you know that you love them. But you require a certain special type of love too. And they probably don't have that to give, but we can learn together. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll also give myself a hug. Let them know it's okay, bro. Everything that you're going through is going to be better. It's going to be okay. You're going to be the change that you need in you. You're going to break so many fucking generational curses, bro. You're going to be amazing. You're going to be a superstar. You're going to help heal the world, but you have to start with yourself. You can't try to control everything around you. The only thing that you control is yourself. Once you're able to control yourself, once you're able to master yourself, once you're able to understand who you are as a person, you can show up in the world even more better. Yeah. You're powerful beyond measure. You are the best. You are the best. Everything that you want to do and become, you will be that. Stay a dreamer. Practice on your writing. Practice on your speaking. Go fucking do your spoken word. Share your poetry with the world. And do it quick. And don't worry about what people think about you. Don't worry about what they're saying about you, because they're probably projecting their thoughts and their feelings. They're probably thinking the same shit about themselves. The shit that you're thinking that they're thinking about you, they probably thinking about themselves. People are people. People bleed the same way you do. People cry the same way you cry. People sweat and shit the same way you sweat and you shit. You know what I'm saying? People, you know what I'm saying? Don't take things personal. Don't take things personal. Continue to read. Read a lot of books. You know what I'm saying? Do everything that you want to do fearlessly. Do it even if you're afraid. Do not be afraid of what people are saying about you. It's okay to embarrass yourself. It's okay to be a dreamer. It's okay to be a lover. It's okay to be a giver. It's okay to talk your shit. It's okay to be confident. You know what I mean? Those are the things that I would tell myself back then and today. Still.
That's a powerful shit. And you know, I feel like I love that for you because it shows the progression that you've made, like I said before. And like, I'm so grateful to have seen you go through so many different seasons because I've seen the growth through my eyes. Too,
you know, I can't, credit that to just to myself. You know, the beautiful thing about, who you are as a person, you was always a go-getter, and I'm a go-getter. You get what I'm saying? And so there were certain things that you wanted for yourself, and that's a sum total of just not having, right? Yeah. You didn't have a lot growing up. We could relate to that, but, you didn't let that stop you. You came to college, and I met you in college, and, you wanted certain things for yourself because you didn't want to end up like the people where you came from. Yeah. Right? So you had to get to work. Like you went, like you needed money for school. Like your family couldn't help you when it came, respectfully, no offense. Like that's why we breaking generational curses right here. Your family couldn't help you when it came to school. You know what I'm saying? Like everything you paid was out of pocket and whatever grant or scholarship that you did have. You know what I'm saying? And so what that means, you had to go get a job. So I saw you go get a job. You was making more, you had a job that paid you more than I ever had at a job, and you was only 18. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's like, with that shit, I didn't get mad. I didn't hate on you. Like, oh, that shit made me want to go get a better job. So I started, okay, let me go get a better job. Well, it's shit's because I got some money. I got some money from Walmart. So I was chilling. I had came into like $20,000. So, that's not a lot of money. It's not. But back then when you're not thinking like the way I'm thinking now, that's a lot of money. I'm about to buy this. I can get whatever I want. I'm going to buy shoes. I'm going to buy food. Where you want to go? You know what I'm saying?
Every night we eat Kiki.
Right.
We eat
everything. But, seeing that, okay, you got a job, it reminded me like, hey, you need to get a job because you can't spend all this money. You can't waste this money. Yeah. So I went and got a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have a car yet. I saw you, fighting until you got the car that you wanted, the car that served you best in that season in your life. Yeah. And I was like, damn, she got a car? Oh, shit. I mean, she was in my bed at the time. Like, she was my babe, because I didn't want to relate to shit. It's a long story. I don't know if
get to that. Go ahead.
Oh, yes?
Go.
Shit, how long is it? But and so I'm like, dang, she had a car. She can't have a car. I don't even like to drive, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But she had a car. I had to go get a car. You crazy? I cannot have a car. And she got a car. You crazy? Let me go get my car. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually got your apartment. I'm like, oh shit, she got an apartment. Oh damn, I need an apartment. Like, nah, she got an apartment. I gotta get an apartment too. Like, she can't have an apartment. I don't got an apartment. It didn't make me hate on you. It made me want to compete. It just made me want to be compatible. It made me want to level my shit up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we see people and they may have more than us. They have, and then, because I'm not a settler. You know what I'm saying? But the people around me, that's not the shit they value. I wasn't thinking about getting a car. I wasn't thinking about getting a place because them people they was just skating from girls' crib to girls' crib to girls' crib. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we was on living on campus or people was living at home. So that wasn't the mindset. Yeah. At least the people that I was directly around all the time, there was some total 5 people closest to you.
For sure.
And them guys they wasn't on that.
Yeah.
But she was on that. And I was talking to her every single day. So I see the actions. I remember on my birthday, she took me to her crib. And I was like, oh, dang, she got her own space. Like, I can stay the night.
Too bad. I don't know.
I was like, I can stay the night. Oh, damn, this is nice. It's not, camping. Oh, shit, y'all don't play. Oh, shit, y'all don't play. I gotta get my own place. You know what I'm saying? And then, eventually, I remember, it was still about to be summertime. I wasn't taking was I taking summer classes? I don't remember. I couldn't go back home. Home was kind of toxic for me. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was going to sleep on one of my brother's couches, and then, she was helping me, pack some stuff up. It was like, I'm in my car sitting down, the woman dude, and she was about to pull off, and she was like, you want to come stay with me for a little bit? And I was like, oh shit, for real? I didn't think he was going to ask, because I'm not, especially back then, I didn't ask people for shit. I would suffer in silence. I would not be eating. I wouldn't tell nobody. I would not have gas from my car. I wouldn't tell nobody. it was a lot of things I didn't communicate. I didn't ask for help at all. And so she offered. I was like, oh shit, for real. I'm like, pretend like, oh, you sure? Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? And so I was able to see that, and then that summer, I was like, she had got a full-time job, and I was like, oh, I got to get a full-time job. That was the next thing. I got to get a full-time job. Oh, she had a law firm. I'm going to go work at a law firm, too. I'm going to get this bread, too, And then eventually, I was there for a couple, by the end of the summer, I got my own place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got my own place. I had roommates, but I got my own place. You know what I'm saying? Like, your environment is important. Who do you have around you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have people that's enabling you, or do you have people that's pushing you, even if it's subconsciously? She didn't say, oh, you got to go get a full-time job. She didn't say, oh, you got to get a car. She didn't say, oh, but I saw that, I recognized that, and that made me want more for myself. If your partner don't make you want more for yourself, then that ain't a real relationship. You should always want more for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You should always want more for yourself, and the way you show up for yourself allows you to show up for other people.
That's
Sometimes it's your partner don't want more for you because they don't want more for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I always saw you wanting more for yourself in certain cases, and I was like, oh shit, I want more. I want more too. I want more too. You know what I'm saying? And so because I always wanted more, but the people around me, they probably didn't want more. They probably didn't see themselves in certain. But I always saw myself being a star.
Mm-hmm.
I used to daydream and pretend I was these different people and different things, but it probably was different parts of myself that I wanted to show. I just didn't have the confidence to show. But it's showing now. You know what I'm saying? But I always wanted more for myself, and so I want more for her as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta want more for yourself, and which will in return will allow you to want more for your partner. Self-love is so important because you can't experience true love. You're not gonna be able to love nobody until you're able to love yourself, and that's something that I really have been learning and been observing. Until you love yourself, it don't matter what you tell other people. I love you. I'm gonna always be there. No, you're not, because you can't be there for nobody if you're not there for yourself. You know why? Because eventually you're gonna let yourself go. You're not gonna take care of yourself. You're gonna make poor decisions and poor choices, which will stop you from being there for the people that you care about, simply because you didn't care about yourself enough to show up for yourself.
Yeah.
So love yourself, guys.
Love yourself.
Food for thought. Definitely love yourself.
I love it,
guys.
And speaking of our relationship, dun dun dun. No, I'm kidding. But I put up some posts yesterday, and I was basically telling people that our podcast episode was coming with you as a co-host on GSPOT. And I asked, are any questions or anything or any specific things that people wanted to know. And we got a few questions.
People be nosy. So what do you want to know?
So that's because I think we're kind of private in a sense, like to an extent, you know.
You don't know everything about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Period.
No, exactly. for sure.
Exactly why.
So we're gonna do a little lightning round Q&A.
Stays within the family.
We're gonna do a little lightning round Q&A.
We trying to shut up?
No.
I'm trying to make it seem like it was cute though. Shut up.
No. I was just gonna say that we're gonna do a little lightning round Q&A for the questions, just to get people a little peek into our relationship. So I'm gonna use your phone because I text them to us.
And she knows the password, guys. She knows the password. Once upon a time, she had no access.
Once upon a time, the phone was like this when I was around. And ladies, y'all know what that means. But anywho,
it just means it's a habit.
Anywho,
the things that you do, the things that you do often becomes a habit. So I always have my phone.
Why?
It didn't matter. It wasn't just around you. That's just what I did. You know what I'm saying?
You were hiding from everyone.
I mean, I told you that at the very beginning of the show. So you didn't catch me in nothing. I wore a mask. Definitely wore a mask around you at first. Definitely, absolutely.
Yes, you did. He did. So I guess we might touch on that. All right, so we have a few questions here. We're going to do a lightning round because this episode is on the longer side, but it was a great one. JR dropped gems as I knew he would, and I feel like there's a lot of actionable stuff.
It's an honor and pleasure to be here on the GSPOT.
Thank you. It's an honor and pleasure for you to be the first co-host.
I don't know if any more fellas going to get on the GSPOT, but it's an honor and a pleasure. I gotta vet them.
Vet them. Okay. Yes. So the first question that we got was what is the biggest challenge that we face, or what are our biggest challenges we face as a couple?
Shit, I can't even tell you, bro. We experience a lot. we experienced a lot before marriage. So it's like, you can go ahead and answer first. What's your opinion?
I think that the biggest challenge that we face as a couple is growing individually and growing together. So there's a lot of trauma, like, I mean, we just talked about being on our own self-love journeys, trauma from our childhoods, you know what I'm saying, not loving ourselves, you know what I'm saying. I've talked about it on previous episodes. You spilled a lot of your feelings here on this episode, and like you just said, like briefly not too long ago, if you can't love yourself, how are you gonna love your partner? Like, all of your insecurities and all that shit is gonna come up and come out in some type of way throughout the relationship. So I think that, you know, us going on our individual journeys, trying to find ourselves in this world, trying to find our place, trying to find the things that we love, we care about, trying to find our career paths, being entrepreneurs, finding ourselves, you know, because we're breaking generational curses for our family, you know what I'm saying, our families, and like, you know, financial struggles and things like that. Those are individual journeys, but at the same time, we're doing life together, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, I would say that's our biggest, those can be some of the biggest challenges that we face as a couple, is us navigating life and navigating our individual journeys, but also trying to keep growing together, like, you know?
Yeah, retweet. Real tweet. Like, just, you know, like you said, just, you know, unmasking, you know, probably like reflecting on past traumas.
Yeah.
And learning to heal. And sometimes healing is ugly, and sometimes it's not the most pleasant thing. And when you're doing that in a relationship, it's not always pleasant. And so it's like learning to be understanding with one another. I can get an attitude, she can get an attitude, especially like when one person is going through something. It's just like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, healing is not always an easy thing to do. It's painful.
It's mucky. It look ugly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about just like when you're healing in general, you used to have scars and stuff like that. I got a big scar right here. This was really painful. You know what I'm saying? When it first happened, it was really painful, and it was healing, but it sure hurt. I had to be on medicines and antibacterial medicines and painkillers. They put me on all the strong stuff for this. You know what I'm saying? But it was painful. Healing is painful, and sometimes you're gonna have scars, and sometimes when you look back at certain situations, when I look at this scar, I remember the pain I was going through. And sometimes when you unlocking some of those traumas, you relive those traumas, and it could be painful. And when you're in a relationship, sometimes it hurts, and then you take it out on the people around you, or you were going through something, and the person around you gets it. You know what I'm saying? They get the brunt of it because the person is around you. You know what I'm saying?
They're in the vicinity.
They're in the vicinity, and you're not strong enough to the eye
of the storm is when it gets the worst.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's being lenient with one another and understanding. And even when those things happen, even when it gets taken out of the person or the argument starts, you know how to come back together and communicate and talk about it. That's something that we're still working on to this day, to be transparent. You know what I'm saying? I can get angry. She can get angry. And sometimes I don't, no matter how good I am with my words, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't say enough, or if I do say it, she'll understand me, or vice versa. Or whatever the case may be, or ego. It's lessening ego, like taking it personal. Oh, you mad? Oh, you mad at me? Oh, you mad at the situation? Oh, I'm gonna be mad back. Oh, I'm gonna be mad longer than you mad. You know what I'm saying? All these different immature child things that we do because of ego. And so you gotta take ego out of the situation. When you take ego out, because they say ego is like edging God out. You know what I'm saying? Edging God out. And you want God in your relationship. You know what I'm saying? You want God. You are God. God is within you. You want more God in anything that you do. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to take ego out of situations. Put more love into situations. Put more, you know, gratitude and good vibrations in your situation, in your relationship too. Why I made it so deep?
It was just good. So that leads us to the next question. How do we deal with conflict?
I feel like we kind of answered that question.
Yeah.
But the best way to deal with any type of conflict is to communicate. You know, ask yourself what is conflicting about the situation. Like, what is the problem? Like, what's really the problem? Like,
do we do that? That's what should be done.
I try to do it. I don't. I try to do it. I try. Like,
Jameer will be the one that will come back before I will. He says it all the time. Like, I'm gonna out mad him, and it don't like be that I'm trying to be out mad, but I still be mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he is like a strong enough individual where he will get over it. You know what I'm saying? He'll come back and be like, "We need to talk."
You still mad? Like, we talk.
You still mad?
Talk. We're not in New York. We in Georgia.
Don't be a hater, bro.
talk. It's on your power. But nah, like, you know what I'm saying? Communication will fix any type of conflict.
Yeah.
You know, and understanding conflict resolutions. You know what I'm saying? Like compromise. You talk about compromise a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you believe it. But yeah, you gotta compromise, you know what I'm saying? But communication is the most important thing, and no matter what the relationship is.
Mm-hmm.
When we finally do come together, communicate, and we understand, understand the level of thinking that we are putting into the situation, it usually fixes it. It may not be when I want it to, or a timely manner, but eventually
it gets fixed.
Hopefully it gets fixed, or it gets improved. It gets improved.
Which is progress.
It gets progressed.
It gets progressed. Next question is, it's a word for us. The next question is our favorite thing about each other.
You go first.
Okay. My favorite thing about you is also the thing that I hate about you sometimes, which is how passionate you are. And you are an extremely passionate person. Like, you know, you're all into the things that you care about. You know what I'm saying? And when you're all in, you're all in, and that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
I always love you, but
at the same time, it'd be the thing that I hate about you sometimes because of my own insecurities and my own paradigms, not because of something that is you, because you should show up in your entirety, unapologetic as how you are. But for me, it triggers me because maybe I want to show up this certain way, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you're telling me what I need to hear, but I don't want to hear it, you know what I'm saying? And you're telling me passionately, but you're speaking from a passionate place because you care about me, you know what I'm saying? But I might want to hear something that's just kind of like, yes, men, but you're not that type of person, of course. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say my favorite thing about you can be the thing that I hate about you sometimes, but it's really not me hating it. It's really just me and my insecurities being projected onto you. So, yeah, my favorite thing about you is your passion.
Thank you. That's my favorite thing about me too. Nah, but about you, right? Damn, what's my favorite thing about you? I love you as a being. Right. My favorite thing about you is the fact. Nah, I can't say that. My favorite thing about you is there's so many. No, seriously, it's so many. Like I don't want to say your perfectionism because that's something that you have to work on. But I love the fact that you don't want to do a bad job at anything. You care about presentation. You care about the small things, your attention to detail. You're detail oriented in a lot of things, whether it's your pieces when you're creating, whether it's the outfits when you put yourself together, whether it's, you know, just how you show up in the world when you show up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the thing that's gonna make you the most successful in life. You know, you pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's why I say it's one of your gifts, because that attention to detail shows up in different areas. And even like when it applies to me, like in our relationship, like when it comes to trying to surprise me, I remember one of the first gifts she gave me, bro, was like, I'll never forget it. Like cause I remember I said in the beginning, I used to send my poetry as notes and stuff like that and shit like that. Or I used to like write poems and send it to her. Some about her, some just in general. And what she did, I didn't know she was gonna do it. Like I had her mom help her with like creating me like a poetry book, and like so they had like the pages burned. It was like a journal looking type of book, like patent letter type of book, and they like printed the words on the page and they kind of burnt it to give it like that old age look. And like it was attention to detail, bro. And it was just like I was like, damn, nobody did that for me before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that and it had to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like it had to be just right. It was like those little small details. Where it was just like, for the first time, I see my words, you know what I'm saying, printed in the book. It was like my first book. It was my words, you know what I'm saying? And she published it, you know what I'm saying? So for me, you know, that was cool, you know, but it's like those things, like the fact that, I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to try to do whatever I got to do to surprise you, you know what I'm saying? You pay attention to the details of situations, and, you know, that's like your gift. And like, I don't know, it's a beautiful thing because, you know, that's how you show up in the world, detail oriented. You're a planner, you're a strategist. Like, you're really good at what you do. Like, you could sit down and give somebody a game plan, even though sometimes you can't do it for yourself. But that's why self-love is so important. You gotta use that same gifts that you're able to use for other people and apply that to your shit. You know what I'm saying? And once you're able to do that and master that, you're gonna be even more amazing. So yeah, I'm about to say that I just made it about you, but it was always about you. So yeah, but yeah, so I think that's one of the things that I don't have just one thing, but that's one of the things that, and it's funny because that's like your gift.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I really I said it in that way.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that's a good way to position it and put it, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. You know what I'm saying? So you got to use that attention to detail and that brain of yours to really, like, you know, show up for yourself, and in return, you're gonna be able to show up for me, you know, for our family, for all the different businesses that you're gonna create. You know what I'm saying? For your G-babes, you know what I'm saying? And everybody else that you're gonna impact, the millions of lives that's gonna be impacted solely because you took the time to impact yourself.
Facts. You right? I love that. Yeah, oh my gosh, as always. Let's see. We might have time for one more. Let's see if there's a spicy one. Okay, maybe two more. Okay. Was there ever a moment you wanted to call it quits? And how did we get through it?
You go first, cause I already know that.
I've been going first, so your turn.
Quits in what way? Did the person explain?
Like quits,
so,
like
they
didn't explain. I thought about like relationship over. I'm pretty sure that's like.
Well, for one, I'm not a quitter. I don't like to quit on anything. I push myself to the brink of destruction sometimes. So I'm trying to think. Like, there was moments where it wasn't necessarily because of you per se that made me want to end shit. It was maybe external things and external pressures that made you act away because you were so codependent on certain things and certain people and certain relationships that caused a lot of friction. And it made me be like, what the fuck you got going on, man? Like, man, what the fuck, man? Like, I think it hurts, but so I guess yes. Yeah, and there was times maybe with my own insecurities where I'd be like, man, I'm done, I'm over. I remember it was a time I was mad as hell. It was because, like I said, external things that got me angry. And like, you know, one of my coping mechanisms is to throw tantrums and shit so you can hear me and so you can feel what the hell I'm saying. And so I'd be like, man, I'm done. I remember I was done, I'm over it, man. We done. So I guess, yeah, but like I said, it was
how did you get through it?
How did I get through it? I looked at the future that I was creating in my mind and trying to bring to reality, and I did not see the future not including you. And so I was like, well, you're still here in the future. I'm creating, so I'm creating a lot. You know, I'm building this world in my mind that I will bring to fucking life, and you're in this future. So unless, you know, you call it quits, which goes to your question, and you mean it, you're here. You know what I'm saying? You're here, so you're not going anywhere. So don't fucking stop doing dumb shit.
Wow.
Let's communicate.
Okay. Fair. I thought about it a few moments.
I'm a lot to deal with.
When I did, it was prematurely in our relationship. Like, I think, you know, it was prematurely in our relationship.
She relied on pride. What she got going on, man?
And I feel like it was just like a moment in time.
That guy's gonna be a billionaire.
Yes. Well, it was a moment in time when you were depressed.
Yeah, I was. Me too.
Like, you were in the changing of season state. We were young. We were still young, so we're extra young, right? And you know,
I was locking myself in the closet and shit. I was just
and I just
didn't
was
want to
like,
be around nobody. Like, people want to be around me, I didn't want to be around them. And she want to be around people. And I knew a lot of people, like, oh, Javier, oh, he's not here. I don't really want to, oh, really?
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
And I'm trying to live life, you know what I'm saying? Like, we in college, I'm trying to live life. I'm trying to be out here with him, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to do stuff, enjoy things, adventure, you know? And I think that, you know,
I get it.
I had to learn patience because I had to choose. Well, first, how I got through is I had to choose you. And then after I chose you and chose us, I should say, I had to develop patience. And I remember saying to myself and like thinking about it and saying to myself, you know, because the people around me, like, they didn't help, you know what I'm saying? Because they weren't in relationships, they were young-minded, all that stuff like that. But anyway, I had to think to myself and
where are they now? Are they in relationships now? Are they happy? Where are they? Are they watching on Instagram stories every day?
Yeah, she's so petty. Anyway, so I had to say to myself, you know, you have to treat him how you want to be treated. So you want to have patience. You have to understand that y'all are young, and if you want your relationship to last through the ages, you have to have patience because y'all are going to go through different seasons. You know, around this time, like I said, we're in college. Javier was finishing up his last year. You know what I'm saying? After his last year, you know, going through these seasons where he was trying to find himself and see what he wanted to do next. It had nothing to do with me, but like we just talked about, I was in the vicinity, so clearly I was getting the brunt of it. You know, when you're in the eye of the storm, you're gonna get the brunt of it. It's okay. But it's the fact that it wasn't about me, and I had to take myself out of the equation and realize it wasn't about me. And if I could call it quits over something so simple as a season change and the things that you're going through, then there's no way that we can grow together on our individual journeys because I wouldn't be able to take it and withstand the rain. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, and I think that was a huge turning point for me because then it gave me the wisdom that I needed for the different seasons of life that we went through after that and that we would continue to go through. They gave me the patience and gave me the conscious decision and the vow that I made to myself way back then, even before we take our vows. You know what I'm saying? The vow that I made to myself way back then that I would choose you, I would choose our relationship, and I would dedicate myself to show up, and then whatever comes after that is like the work that has to go into it. But at first you have to make that decision. So what got me through that point was making a conscious decision and then following up that conscious decision with whatever needed to be done to see that decision through. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's beautiful. Well said.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, guys, you know, when you guys see this, and this is a very important part of the video, and I say that because you're gonna know it's a big difference. You're gonna know it's a shift, and the shift is gonna be because
you're annoying.
We're doing it on my phone right now, so this shit like clear as hell.
So after all of this, yeah, we are doing it on his phone because like the episode, I'm gonna edit it so it doesn't look so choppy, but like the phone kept going out of storage over and over and over again, and can be long-winded. We had a lot to say, so the episode is long. But yes, you do see a shift in Javier's camera. So with that being said, let me see.
Last question.
We talked about the moments we wanted to call it quits. There's a question in there. I feel like it's a good question to end off the Q&A. What's next for us?
Oh, world domination, bro. What you talking about? We gonna continue to become. I speak for myself. I'm gonna continue to become the best version of myself in return.
Me too.
She's gonna become the better version of herself, and we're gonna continue to blow the hell up.
Yep.
In all the good ways. You know, we're gonna be the superstars that we are.
Yep.
We're gonna build billion-dollar brands and empires and dynasties, and we're gonna impact millions of lives in the good ways, and we're gonna live a lavish, luxurious, boss-ass life.
Period, poo. Retweet. I can't say nothing better than that.
Yeah, just like that. And encourage other people to do the same.
Absolutely.
You know, because people that you're a power couple, you're a power couple. Well, I don't like being called a power couple. I like to say we're the empower couple because we empower everybody around us by empowering ourselves and recognizing our own power. Yeah. Whether we're able to empower other people, and so we're in turn they can empower themselves and recognize their own power and hopefully return the favor to someone else.
Facts.
So yeah.
I love that. And I feel like that's a beautiful note to end off today's episode. This episode was so...
She made it look good. I just showed up.
It was so awesome. Like, thank you for taking the time. I know you have a busy schedule, being an incredible, you know,
I'm just lining up some
young woman that you are.
High level conversations.
No, of course. But I really do appreciate you, and I do want you to know that I appreciate you so much. I value your time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I value your energy, you know what I mean? And
I hope it wasn't too much for you.
No, not at all. Again, you are being unapologetic, and I love that, and that's what the space is for. And you drop so many gems for the G-babes out here, and for
shout out to the G-babes. We love you guys,
you
man. I change our lives every day. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for understanding.
Facts.
You know, a lot goes on behind the scenes. And, you know, y'all be showing so much love. I'll be reading her some of the messages sometimes because she don't want to read the messages. And sometimes we get the messages from other people, like members of the teams and VAs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I'll be reading her because she don't be looking at some of the notifications. Sometimes you gotta turn the notifications off. Self-love is the best love. Sometimes you gotta let that stuff go. And I'll be reading them to her like, yo, look what these people are saying. Like, you're the one handcrafting all. I help a little bit, but you're the one touching all these pieces and handcrafting all these pieces and showing up day in and day out. Like, yo, so thank y'all. Thank y'all for understanding. Thank y'all for helping her find herself. You know what I'm saying? This is a journey that she is on, and she's taking you guys with her. You know what I'm saying? This whole golden thing is really her growing as a person, her discovering her self-love and helping y'all discover y'all self-love and her love for yourself. So y'all in a relationship together, right? She's in a relationship with herself and y'all in a relationship together. And so I thank y'all for helping to empower her so she can empower y'all. It's some beautiful synergy going on. So thank y'all. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all more than y'all know.
Thanks. And thank you. You were an amazing co-host this episode. And
I don't see anybody topping this, bro. I'm sorry. Who we got next?
We gonna see you next. We gonna see
he or
next.
she ain't topping them. Sorry. Respectfully.
Actually,
It's gonna be valuable.
I have
How can you top this? Like, come on, man. I'm just here chilling, giving y'all a little comedy, giving y'all some gems, giving y'all, you know, beautiful vibes. You know what I'm saying? Coordinating vibes. You know, how you gonna top that? You can't. But you're gonna still be really good. So if you see this, just know that I believe in you. I believe in you. Don't try to compete. It's okay.
You got it, babe.
You can't compare.
You got
respectfully.
It,
I'm just
you just talking shit.
She told me to do this stuff, by the way. She told me to show that side of me, and I did.
Yes, I told him to be unapologetic. Nothing wrong with that.
But no, I'm apologizing, guys. Don't take me serious, please. There's certain parts that you should take serious, but certain parts it's a little comedy in there. I'm a comedian, satire.
But I thank you.
Show.
No, you're fine. Like I said, it's cool. I love this. So bad. I love this. No, I love this episode so much. I love the format, and it's really gonna help me to continue to. It's really gonna set the tone. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that I wanted you to be first because I knew that you are an experienced interviewer, an experienced. You know what I'm saying? Podcaster, but I don't really. Podcaster is so minimal for what you do. I'm gonna talk show host. You know what I'm saying?
I just have real conversations.
You are experienced, and I wanted to have you on here because I knew that. You know, first I'm saying because I knew that it would set the tone. It would help me break the ice, and it would be an episode filled with so much gems. You know what I'm saying? Because that's who you are, you know? So I just want to thank you for setting the tone. I'm super, super excited, guys, for everything that I have in store for the G-Spot and for all the other co-hosts that will follow the great JR. And I'm so grateful for you guys for all of your love, your feedback, your shares, comments, subscribes, and everything like that. Please let me know how you're loving this episode, you know what I'm saying, in the comments. Make sure that you subscribe, share this with a friend and another bestie because we are growing our G-Spot community, of course. And of course, today's episode was sponsored by Golden the Brand, my lifestyle, handcrafted lifestyle brand, okay, with me and my beautiful partner, JR, and
I'm small right now, I want to be here. I create my Kanye West moments.
Oh my gosh, I create handcrafted pieces that help G-babes around the world to feel comfortable, confident, and luxurious, which in turn helps them to show up as the best version of themselves in their life, so they can boss up their life and of course elevate their self-love. So make sure that you go check us out. The website is back open at shopgolden, no E, it'll be at the bottom of the screen, .com. And of course, our second sponsor is Fufu.network with the great I am JR Lee. You know what I'm saying?
It's me.
Yes. And It is I. Food for Thought Network basically is, you know what? You say. Because I say every episode. So let them hear.
Food for Thought Network is the only place to find nothing but positivity content that, feeds and nourishes your mind, your body, and your soul, and your heart.
Mm-hmm.
If you want that good nourishment, that good food, that's good food for your soul, you're going to find it on, Food for Thought Network. We only got the best. We only work with the best. You are the best. And so if you want to work with the best, come to Food for Thought Records.
I love it. And as you can see, that is why Food for Thought Network sponsors the GSPOT. So I just want to thank our sponsors, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you for next week's episode. And yeah, like that, it's a wrap. It's me, your girl, Natalia Limri, aka The Billionaires, aka your designer bestie, here with my boo thing, J.R. Lee.
Do it again.
It's me, your girl, Natalia Limri, aka The Billionaires, aka your designer bestie, and I'm here with my boo thing,
J.R. Lee, aka Food for Thought, aka the Young Mogul himself, aka the greatest to ever do it. Why? Because I said so, and because I believe in myself, and you should too.
Period, poo. And we closing it out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Love you. Bye, guys.
Peace.